Alright, I know it's black, but you can see my shadow, so we're getting at least 6 more minutes of Slam, because we're talking Groundhog Day on this week's Slam Synopsis. In February, we celebrate the Dog of Prairies. Not really, we come around and go underground on February 2nd to check in with an animal amidst the trees in Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania for Groundhog Mania. I'll refresh you on the rules in case you never learned it in school. If the groundhog sees his shadow amidst the splinters, we got 6 more weeks of winter, and if he sees, well, no thing, then we get an early spring. Now, we should leave it there, but I'll make you aware of the history to clear up the mystery, so let's take a stroll down the groundhog hole with the goal of knowing the whole story. It's another holiday, so all the research goes back to the church. The Christians are here with no real scandal, cause we're talking Candlemas. 40 days after Shorty's birthday in the Christmas season, Mary and Joe had reason to bring Jesus to the Holy Temple in Jerusalem, and they paid their dues then on February 2nd. So what does that have to do with groundhogs? Well, clergy copied the Celts with Imolg. Don't revolt, I know it's sold to be in bulk, but it's Imolg, like when I said not to have a cow with Samhain, but I digress. See, the Celts dressed on February 1st to honor the coming spring to their goddess Bridget by lighting torches to protect from spirits, so the church would steer it towards candles and bless them to protect, and thought it was correct to make candles the tether to predict the weather. A sunny Candlemas meant more winter to these meteorologists, but if sun equals winter, they clearly weren't optimists. So what does that have to do with groundhogs? Good question. Well, thanks to the Romans, they brought it to these showmans. The Germans somehow made the weather prediction more laughable by using animals. They chose a creature so iconic. That's right, the hedgehog. But it was well before Sonic. Good for you. Again, falling between equinoxes, they would extend the seasonal clocks, with the hedgehog telling the Germans if winter was the new blueprint or we should go all Sondheim and sing rhymes in springtime for Hitler. Now, some people think they were atrocious because their target wasn't ferocious. No, not them, although, yeah, that's true, too, but there we go. From Germany, some crossed the seas to Punxsutawney and the surrounding state to ingratiate with the locals to make their tradition focal, but since the hogs of hedge were not around, they had to use that which were abundant, the hogs of ground. Before we continue, let's review the zoology, switch from chuckle up to buckle up.
Seatbelts, everyone! Please let this be a normal field trip.
Plenty of critters, they got their pick of the litter in Punxsutawney, not that scrawny at 12 to 15 pounds with the scientific name of Marmota monax. They sleep like a Snorlax as true hibernators, dropping to temps as low as refrigerators in their deep burrows that go thorough from 8 to 66 feet, an impressive feat with extra exits. Now it's time to sex it. Yup, Feb 2nd is their date, but they're actually looking for one. See, they come out to mate, well, they enter the field to survey the field just to see what kind of luck they'll have when it's time to woodchuck. That's right, woodchucks are groundhogs and have nothing to do with wood. Would you believe it was because their nickname came from creative variations from Native Americans? Just one more thing they ruined for us. So no, I can't tell you how much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood, even though the idea a woodchuck could chuck wood should chuck the woodchuck into the woods. Chuck. In 1887, the first Groundhog Day was made at Gobbler's Knob in Punxsutawney. That is the greatest sentence. An entrance from the Punxsutawney Groundhog Club rubbed Clymer Frias, a newspaper editor, to be a better that Phil the Punxsutawney Groundhog was the OG weather forecasting woodchuck, and woodchuck all logic out the window and show the groundhog to his fellows of Punxsutawney. I only expect this kind of shit to go down in Pawnee.
What? Yes! Oh my god!
Oh my god!
I never thought I'd get to meet him!
It's really him! Well done, Leslie! Well done!
If you think I like saying Punxsutawney, well, the people in Punxsutawney get their fill of Phil as the Groundhog Club hosts a 3-day celebration over this dumb animal and ramble with entertainment and activities. The main festivities run by the Inner Circle, which sounds like a cult as grown adults exult in a Dutch dialect, and before you reject, they claim to speak in Groundhogese. Now you can reject, please. Tens of thousands come to a town of around 6,000 people just to get a peep at old Punxsutawney Phil, who we see if he sees his shadow, but I ain't mad though like Maddo, because although there is too much conviviality, it's harmless and has inspired similar festivities. Aside from Punxsutawney Phil, there's Birmingham Bill, or Staten Island Chuck, or Shubenacadie Sam. Seriously, what the actual Those are all groundhogs who also predict the future, but what's putrid is 1 year Birmingham Bill took off from his holiday, which I say is just letting down no one. I know, I'm no fun. Unlike in Ohio, where in Vermilion, Ash takes on Lieutenant Surge. JK, they diverge from the groundhog and urge to splurge on the woolly bear caterpillar and determine winter based on its spots. Okay, just stop. How many people would actually get aroused in Vermilion? Oh, That number is 100,000 to the pavilion. 100K think a caterpillar is cool to explore. Thank God the Women's March still had more. The only saving grace that saves face is Groundhog Day will be known as the movie with a timeline so blurry, but at least it had Bill frickin' Murray. A schmuck wakes up to find his luck is stuck on Groundhog Day as his life reruns amok. Now that is what I call a Hollywood chuck. The film is getting a musical, and while I don't think it will be Broadway's linchpin, it's got music and lyrics by the GOAT, Tim Minchin. Seriously, check out his stuff, he is awesome. Not right now! So that's Groundhog Day, a weird holiday and a little kooky, but it's pretty much harmless and not even spooky. Now if you think the groundhog is ridiculous and they should do without that, well on February 2nd, catch him outside, how about that? Cause it means a lot to the people of Punxsutawney! One more for good measure, this ends the pleasure. And while jokes and rhymes about groundhogs was a unique task for this comedian, I don't think I ever want to talk about this holiday again. In February, we celebrate the dog of prairies. Not really, we come around and go underground on February 2nd to check in with an animal amidst the trees in Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania for Groundhog Day. Guys, we did this already. Yeah, no, we're good. Yeah, we shot all this. I shot it earlier. Yeah, we're fine. Yeah, we're good. In February, we celebrate... What? Guys, what is going on? No, guys, the video is done. Turn off the logo. No, stop! Just let it end! I didn't even start in this costume. In February... No. No. No, stay back. Stay back. So make sure you subscribe to the... Damn it! I must accept what I cannot control. In February, we celebrate the dog of prairies. Not really. We come around and go underground on February 2nd to check in with an animal amidst the trees in Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania for Groundhog Mania. I'll refresh on the rules.